welcome back to the channel, everybody. MP Fitness. So today I have decided to do something special. I have interviewed my mom, an interview with a personal trainer, just so you guys get a little bit of information about my family and where I got my sports and fitness drive from, and also just to ask some questions that maybe some of you guys are thinking about out there about personal training, maybe working out in general. So yeah, let's get stuck in. Everybody, this is my mom, Miranda MP. She's a personal trainer. So mom, can you give us a brief introduction of who you are, where you work, and what qualifications you have as a personal trainer?
Oh, okay. I live in Zimbabwe. Well, in Harare, actually, in Zimbabwe. I'm a personal trainer at Triton Gym. At the moment, I'm not personal training at any gym as of the situation. I have an ACE personal training certificate, and I did my first course with an HFPA fitness instructors course. And then I have minor certificates in spinning and in pump and in weight training and fitness classes and all sorts of things that I like aqua aerobics and that sort of thing. So I've got those minor certificates, but my ACE certificate and my HFPA certificate are the major ones.
Okay, but you've also competed you've done a few 2 oceans. Didn't you do an Ironman or 2? And you competed in an aerobics competition in America.
I did a aerobic sport competition, which we did in Aspen in Los Angeles. That was many, many moons ago. And I have run 3 2 oceans and quite a few half marathons. So, and I've done 3 half Ironmans and other marathons that are done around Harare.
Okay, so you're pretty well qualified. So everybody can imagine what it was like growing up in my house with my mom and then my sister. We're all pretty good at sport, but when you got a mom like mine, you don't have a choice. You have to be good at it. Okay, so we'll get stuck into the first question. When did you first get introduced to fitness or working out?
Well, I've always been into fitness because I would rather do sport at school than actually any classroom work. So I played hockey, tennis, ran cross country at school, did swimming. So basically I've done sport all my life. My first actual instructor's course was done when Daniel was 10 months old. So that's how long I've been in the fitness industry.
Well, now I know where I get that I don't want to do class. I'd rather go play a sport from. So, okay. So what advice would you give someone that has never been in a gym but would like to start working out?
First of all, anyone who has not been in a gym and is basically sedentary and has done no exercise, the first thing they need to do is actually get a doctor's letter saying that they're allowed to train and they are physically fit for any sort of exercise. If you've never done any training, not that I'm blowing my own trumpet here, but I would suggest that you start off with a personal trainer first. They will get you into it slowly, and then rather than you going to a gym and then you're just stuck doing your own thing, which means you can end up with injuries or the muscles are sore and then you don't want to go back.
Okay, so that's covered my next question, but the question after that is, do you evaluate potential clients first or does that come after? And what is your evaluation process? What do you look at first?
Well, when I get a call from someone saying they want a personal trainer, I request that I speak to them first. They either come and meet me at the gym or we meet somewhere for coffee and I sit with them first. The goals are first.
So you're working off what their goals are when you meet them,
Yes,
so that your evaluation process is just to see where they want to be as opposed to
yeah,
what their physical condition is.
yes. So I work on their goal, where their goals are going to go, and then I find out what injuries they may have, and then I ask them about their diet and their nutrition side of things, and then I get them into the gym, and we start very slowly. You know, if someone hasn't done any exercise, we are basically walking and, you know, just doing minor exercises for the first couple of weeks just to get them in slowly. There's nothing worse than putting a client through pain on their first session. So they are so sore that they really don't want to come back to training.
So it's all about building up the person slowly so that they're encouraged to come back and push themselves harder gradually, rather than come in and be basically abused by somebody. Whereas some people have complained about that, not with you, but I've heard people complain online, and people that I've met felt that they were abused by personal trainers in their first session. So it actually pushed them away from the gym rather than welcome them in.
It is a sad fact, because you do get some personal trainers that will push them really hard on the first day just to see how far they can go. And then they think, well, they will be sore, so they know they've worked their muscles. But for me, that's not an option. I don't believe that that's the way it should be done. I believe that there should be a certain, a certain procedure before you get to working much harder, so that you don't want to start causing injuries in your first 2 days of working with a client.
So basically, there's a difference between being stiff from a good workout and being sore from being overly worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how often do you recommend your clients to train in a week, and how often would it be with you?
Well, I would take for minimum with a personal trainer twice a week if they are prepared to work on their own on the other days where they're not working. So if you're not prepared to work on your own, like go for a walk on the other days or come into the gym and do something else, then I would like 3 days a week.
Okay. So you would take 3 days a week if they're not doing any alternative exercising.
Yeah.
Okay. And if there's someone like myself who goes to the gym, would go to the gym every day, so you just see them twice a week and that's enough?
Twice a week, even, someone who trains regularly doesn't, and they just want something different for one session where they can, come back and do it again, and during the week, like 3 or 4 days down the line, they can work on that one session. And what we do then, if there's only one session, we can try something completely different to what they're doing.
Okay, that's understandable.
So they can try something new, like resistance training or the TRX or plyometrics, which is completely different to what they're usually used to.
And those are normally things that if you don't know much about, you won't be able to do them sort of on your own. I mean, nowadays with YouTube and what you can find on the internet, you could probably learn, but it's better to have someone pointing you in the right direction and correcting the little mistakes that you have.
Especially for the first couple of sessions.
Yeah.
At least then you know what you're doing and where you can go wrong and that sort of thing.
Okay. And do you do diet plans as well as fitness programs, or you just basically work on the fitness?
I do eating programs. I do an eating program, but I'm not a qualified nutritionist. It's just years of seeing and trying things for myself.
Yeah.
That I will offer some sort of advice, but I don't. I'm afraid that some things work for some people, and not every diet is going to be the same for that person.
Well, I agree with that. Obviously, most people won't know, but my dad is a diabetic, and he got really, really overweight when I got married, weighed in at 120 kgs, and he went on to banting, and it worked wonders for him. And he was really strict, didn't have to do much exercise, and he eventually weighed 89 kgs. So that just shows you how one diet can work for someone with minimal exercise work. And then it might not work for somebody else. Whereas I know my stepmom has tried the banting diet and it just doesn't seem to work for her because
you've got to be careful with some diets, because some women also get to a certain age where their hormones are actually working against them.
Yeah.
Menopause is not a good one to help with any sort of dieting, because it messes around with your hormones. So you need to actually go into that a bit more when you are at that certain age, decide what diet or what eating or what you may cut down on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so next question is being in the gym with clients all day, how much time are you getting to focus on your own training? Or do you normally train with a client at the same time to keep active?
I was doing early morning runs, so I wouldn't have a client at 5, 3 days of the week, which means at 5 in the morning I was doing my training then, or I would do a session with my own personal trainer,
Okay.
for different, like CrossFit training. Otherwise, if I'm not getting the training session in that day, I will train with a client if they're happy to do that. Some clients don't like you to train with them, but I have a client at the moment who actually prefers it if I train with them and they do the program that I've set up for that day.
Okay.
I also teach classes, so I teach spin classes and fitness classes, so that is also part of my training.
Yeah, because you don't have a choice. If you're going to teach a class like that, you can't really stand and tell people what to do. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah, I've got to do it myself. So that's part of my training. I also make time to do other things. Like I really enjoy my swimming in summer, so I will make time during the day when I'm off to go and do a swimming session.
Yeah,
I try and do twice a week swimming sessions. My CrossFit sessions are twice a week as well, and I teach spinning twice a week. So I do get enough exercise on my own, and I try and do weights and that sort of course training at least 3 days a week.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next question, which is, with gyms closed at the moment due to COVID-19 pandemic, how are you adapting to the situation, i.e. Skype classes or video classes?
In the very beginning, I would send my clients all workout programs to do. I tried basically to work around only body weight because some people didn't have. They would then let me know what equipment they had, so then I could work in exercises with the weights they had. I do a Skype call for a spin class twice a week with a member from the gym who got hold of me and asked me if we could do that. We have struggled a bit with that because it's quite difficult to get the music, and we're still trying to figure out how to get that to work efficiently. She can hear my music some days because we put a Bluetooth next to the laptop, but that seems to be working fine for her at the moment. So I'm still getting my twice a week spin in, which is good for me anyway. The other thing is, when we were on basic lockdown, there wasn't much I could do. I've got a small gym at the house, so I do that, and I've just worked that way. And now that we are more flexible with traveling, I've got my clients coming to the house.
Yeah. So your lockdown in Zimbabwe, you guys are allowed you're allowed to go within 5 kilometers of your home during the lockdown.
Well, that was when it was first opened. We were always allowed to go out and run in that 5K radius and that sort of thing. Now that companies are back to work, or the major companies are back to work, and the operating hours are from 8 until 4:30, I've got people who can travel further to the house.
Oh, okay. Right, so that's part 1 of the interview with my mom done. It was going to be 1 video, but it was getting a bit long, so I split it into 2. If you're enjoying it, stay tuned for part 2. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in part 2.